Hi there. Before we begin, let me ask you a couple of quick questions. Have you ever gone totally soft for no apparent reason? Been as horny as all hell and still couldn't get it up? Not been able to perform because of fear or anxiety? Or lost your erection completely no matter how hot she is? If any of your answers are yes, then what you'll find out here will surprise you. My name is Jeff Howard. In this video presentation, I'm going to share with you what I've learned about the little-known natural secret that I believe is the safest and most effective method out there for getting back your rock-hard erections. But I have to warn you that this secret is not something you can use to cure your dysfunction instantly. Those who promise you instant results are either lying or dangerous. Now that we're on the same page, let's get started. You are here for a reason. You want to get your erection back. If you feel insecure in the bedroom, if you experience sexual anxiety and avoid sex because of fear of losing your erection, then keep watching this video, because you're in the right place. You're probably wondering how the heck you got this problem, right? I mean, you're in good health. You're young, you exercise, and drink a healthy protein smoothie every morning. You take your vitamins. Everything is perfect. What could be wrong, right? Well, you're not alone. According to researchers, sexual performance anxiety is a serious problem that affects at least 20% of healthy American men. And, according to reports from the New York Times, no matter how healthy or unhealthy you are, you can still lose your erection at any moment. That means, even if you're in very good shape, even if you can punch your boxing opponent to the ground, you can still be a lousy man in bed. I know how you feel, trust me. I've been right where you are. The frustration with the fact that no one seems to be able to help you. We'll get to the bottom of this, but first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. The day I turned 20 years old, I eloped with my girlfriend of 3 months to Las Vegas. Sure, she was sexy and all, and I really liked her, but I thought I made a bad move. I was just having a good time with her, and somehow we ended up on the strip, both too drunk to swerve in our little game of chicken. I stayed with her for 3.5 years. But when it was good, it was good. In fact, our sex life was tremendous. But when it was bad, she turned into a stupid, bad-tempered wife. Sorry. After begging her to see a counselor, she filed for divorce. I was shocked, but then I thought it would be a good time to go our separate ways. I was relieved we never had a child. Otherwise, things would be so different and possibly more complicated. Anyway, as I'm not the one who initiated the divorce process, this makes me the dumpee, the one who got dumped. As the dumpee, I was dazed and confused by the turn of events in my life. After my divorce, I didn't date for a few years. It wasn't easy, you know. When you've been burned in a relationship, you'll definitely walk a little more cautiously and suspiciously. Keeps you so hyper alert to possible problems that you don't give yourself a new relationship easily. I would love to find the one and eventually remarry, yet the practical side of me is extremely risk averse. It's hard enough to enter into a relationship knowing your heart might be broken someday. But when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. At the age of 27, I decided to get back into the game. I wanted to go out and have a few drinks and have a nice time again. One Saturday night, I was in a bar filled with mostly single dudes and babes. A couple of friends greeted me and shared some laughs between the booze. I eventually realized it was getting late and wanted to leave. Then suddenly, from across the other side of the room, an unbelievably beautiful woman came out of the bathroom. Rather than my usual lingering around wondering what I should do, I gave her a smile, walked straight over to her. I introduced myself confidently, got her cell phone number, and walked away. Yeah, all this happened within minutes. The next couple of days, I called her and asked how she was doing. I managed to take her out on a couple of dates. We learned each other's personalities and got comfortable to one another. And before long, we started dating more seriously. I was incredibly drawn to her. I've never met someone like her in my entire life. And I knew I just had to give it a whirl. I had to open my heart and my eyes to see a new relationship with this amazing woman. She was happy with her life. She worked in a job she loved. She had a great social life, lots of friends. She loved working out at the gym, and guess what? She even brought me lunch at work. What more could you ask for in a dream girl? She was perfect in every way imaginable. But you know what? I was worried. The whole thing was too good to be true. She was too perfect. I was terrified I would ruin this wonderful relationship, and the lack of drama and constant niceness began to annoy me, which sounds unfair to her, I know. And don't get me wrong, I was crazy for her, but I've never experienced love in the typical route. Or maybe it was just supposed to be this easy when everything was right. I had no clue. She was 1 year older than me and had a few serious relationships, but not one in several years. She said she'd somewhat given up until she met me. We were so happy that I was scared to mention my true feelings out loud. This is how it happened for my brother and his wife. A lot of people said that they were the perfect couple. They met and were married, but then got divorced the same year. See, there's no such thing as the perfect couple. For me, it was just hard to accept that a relationship could be this smooth. Nevertheless, I was determined to do my very best to not ruin this one, and instead allowed myself to enjoy the progress slowly. Who knows, maybe this woman was an angel sent from heaven to accompany me for life after all. So after a couple of months, we decided to take it to the next level. We were planning to have sex for the first time. We both knew it was time. February 14th, Valentine's Day. I'd made a reservation a couple of days in advance at Il Cielo restaurant in Los Angeles. The food was pricey, but the experience of being in a romantic setting with candles and rose petals and feeling like we were dining under the stars, it was well worth it. Our date had been perfect that night. Romantic candlelit dinner, a few drinks after, and then we headed to my place. Boy, I remember it like it was yesterday. Everything's going great and so excited. This woman really felt special to me, so it was very important for me to make it a night she'd remember and to satisfy her. In fact, I wanted to give her the best sex she'd ever had. We kissed in the hallway. Gently, but the kiss grew more passionate with desire. I picked her up and carried her to my bedroom where she undressed herself in such a sensual way. She wore see-through black lingerie underneath her clothes, just a black strip around her huge breasts. She was drop-dead gorgeous. Her body looked absolutely perfect, so smooth and flawless. She unzipped my pants as I took off my shirt, was completely naked in front of her for the first time. She turned up and looked at me with these big, beautiful eyes. I felt her hand on my erect penis. It felt amazing. I was horny as all hell, and my penis was as hard as a rock. I laid her on the bed gently and pulled her thong down. My heart was beating faster and faster. I sensed she was breathing a lot harder, too. So I held my penis, put on a condom, and shoved it in her vagina, and it wasn't working. I couldn't stick it in. I tried again, and again, and again, and still couldn't stick it in. I started to sweat profusely, and that made me even more nervous. I could see her looking at me weird. What the hell just happened? It seemed that after putting on the condom, I began to go soft. After trying to stimulate myself and her trying to stimulate me, I had to take the condom off. I went completely soft. We then waited about 10 minutes and tried again. I was completely ready and put on a new condom, but again, almost immediately, went soft. I was like talking to my own penis. What happened, man? You can't do this to me, not right now. My heart was beating so fast. I wanted to close my eyes and focus on the feeling of my hand stroking my penis gently. I wanted my penis to wake up. I couldn't believe it. The more I realized I was sweating, the more flaccid it became. My erection was gone, completely, and my penis had never felt so limp. After several unsuccessful attempts, we decided to just cuddle up for the night and go to sleep. It was a very uncomfortable and unpleasant situation, to say the least. And when we woke up the next morning, everything was kind of awkward. She said it was okay. Yeah, she was kind enough not to question about my ability to erect my penis, but come on, it was really embarrassing to hear that from her. I just let her down as a man. I had this girl who I really liked and wanted. I had her naked in my bed last night and couldn't have sex with her. There was no way I was not going to cry over that. So, what the hell happened? When we kissed, I often get very aroused. I also get very aroused thinking about her in lingerie. I was fit and healthy. I didn't smoke. I didn't do drugs. I didn't get drunk. I've never had a problem getting an erection by myself. I mean, masturbating. I have quite a high sex drive in that respect. I had no hang-ups about my body. Everything in my body was okay. So I didn't know why I failed to perform. I love her, and she was wonderful about it. What worries me the most is that it might happen again the next time we try, and that she'll eventually get fed up with me. I don't want to lose her, especially over this of all things. I was determined to find out what was wrong with me, so I started doing some research on the internet. There was no way I was ready to go to my doctor's office and drop my pants and put my penis on display. In addition, I was too embarrassed to talk with anyone about my problem, including my friends and my own family. No way. So the internet was really the only option. Like a mad scientist, I dug through medical research, read health journals, studied natural remedies, and participated in forums. I filled my head with as much information